Welcome back. You're watching Morning News today on eNCA. And our gospel and R&B musician Loyiso Bala has been appointed as the National Goodwill Ambassador for the United Nations Program on HIV/AIDS. Loyiso joins us in the studio now to tell us how he plans on fulfilling his new role. Loyiso, good morning and thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much, Dan. So good to be here.
Yes. You've been involved, obviously, with HIV and AIDS campaigns for some time. I'm sure that's why you've earned this honor of being UNAIDS Goodwill Ambassador.
Absolutely. You know, from 2007, I was involved with 46664, which is the foundation that, you know, that Madiba started out to bring awareness of HIV/AIDS. You know, that his son also died of the same pandemic, and you know, I grew really passionate about it. I think sort of going around and seeing people who are affected, and obviously I think for myself having some family members as well, you know, who are still affected since we haven't found the cause for HIV and AIDS. And I believe that, you know, it was just time for me to really just join the fight. So even outside of 46664, that's what I've been fighting.
Yeah, and this UNAIDS Goodwill Ambassador thing, when did you find out about it, and how do you feel having been appointed to be the National Goodwill Ambassador?
I got a call about about a month ago from the UNAIDS national office, and they asked if I would, you know, if I would be a Goodwill ambassador. I sort of kept quiet for a good 3 to 4 minutes, because, you know, any work that obviously I can do for UNAIDS, especially since it's HIV/AIDS aligned, for me it was such an honor. And knowing that the United Nations does great work not only in our country but in other countries around the world as well. So for what I'm fighting for, because I believe that, you know, music is, I don't just sing to entertain, but I sing to make a difference. And to be given this platform, I knew that, you know, I can only make a much bigger difference than I've been trying to make in the past 10 to 15 years that I've been in the industry.
Very interested to find out how you're going to use this platform, because I understand as a National Goodwill Ambassador, you'll be focusing on South Africa.
Yes.
And what are you planning to do, and what is expected of you?
Well, you know, UNAIDS has 10 targets that go towards elimination, and so I'll be focusing on 2 of these targets. The first one is to eliminate stigma and discrimination against people with HIV and AIDS, and the second one it's to eliminate gender-based violence and inequality. So I'll be focusing on those, and obviously speaking to young people. I get so many platforms to speak to people, whether it's during concerts or it's during speaking engagements, and I actually have one right after this interview. And I guess my thing is that it's all good and well for me to, you know, to speak to these young people, but I think what's more important is to create the dialogue so that young people can speak again about HIV and AIDS, because when we speak about it, I believe that it's going to be through that we're going to totally, you know, eliminate the stigmas.
I mean, in South Africa, we've made some progress in other areas. I mean, we've gone beyond the bad days where President Thabo Mbeki was talking about HIV not causing AIDS, to today where people are getting antiretrovirals, to today where there's a lot of research that has been happening. But the stigma, the social stigma, still is very much with us, and that also linked, as you said, to the issue of violence. Yeah. I think you've chosen very appropriate themes for you to focus on, but it must be tough as a young South African to see the kind of stigma that people are subjected to because of HIV/AIDS still in 2013.
And the sad thing about it is the fact that it can happen to any of us. You know, it's a different thing if you were just busy making bad decisions all the time. So I think, you know, when somebody else is affected by HIV/AIDS, it should affect me as well. As much as maybe somebody else may be positive and I'm negative, I should see myself as positive, because at the end of the day, if it affects my family, it affects me too. So and the only way that we're gonna eradicate, you know, HIV and AIDS is if we all work together towards it, because it's, you know, if we don't, it's going to be there for generations and generations to come. And I have a daughter, and I want to create a better world for my daughter. So it's got to be my fight, and I'm constantly in danger of being infected as well.
Okay, well, we wish you well as the UNAIDS Goodwill Ambassador for South Africa, Loyiso. But I can't let you leave the studio without asking you about the thing that you're really passionate about, which is music. What are you busy with currently?
I'm currently busy writing songs towards my next album. I had a very successful gospel album that I released last year and DVD, and so I'll be doing that next year, beginning of next year, 14th of March at the moment. And really, it's just been so wonderful just seeing the support that I've been getting, especially in that community. I did a concert yesterday at Rhema Bible Church in Randburg, and I think over 3,000 people came through. So I really just obviously hope to grow that number and to make a difference in many more people's lives over the next few years to come.
Okay, thank you very much, and all the best.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. That's UNAIDS Goodwill Ambassador in South Africa, Loyiso Bala.
News that moves. eNCA.com.